Americans to eat real food while protecting the cancer-causing chemicals sprayed on it.
We are gonna fight, fight, fight!
So we're at the People vs. Poison rally in Washington, D.C., where a group of some of the biggest names in MAHA have gathered together to protest against big companies that they say are poisoning Americans with chemicals.
A year and a half after the Make America Healthy Again movement helped propel Donald Trump to the presidency, it's facing a big test.
Let's be honest. We wouldn't be here right now if President Trump didn't sign that executive order.
MAHA's coalition of health and wellness influencers, vaccine skeptics, and environmentalists united under Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as a champion of their causes. As an environmental lawyer, he'd helped win a landmark settlement against the makers of the weed killer Roundup, arguing its chemical, glyphosate, caused his clients cancer, a claim the company denied. But this week, the Trump administration supported the current manufacturer of Roundup, Bayer, in a Supreme Court case over whether Americans can sue for alleged harms from chemical exposure. And in February, Trump signed an executive order protecting glyphosate as crucial to the national security and defense.
How did you feel when you saw that executive order?
I was disgusted. I was literally sick to my stomach.
A lot of the speakers here are people who were very active in helping RFK Jr. campaign for President Trump. There's a lot of conversation here about whether those promises are actually being followed through on. What is your sense of the movement?
I'm saying we are on the brink of falling apart. That I'm like in Red Rover right now, okay? I am diehard conservative, and I got this group of MAHA moms, and I'm trying to keep us together. There were millions of Democratic and independent moms in particular that voted Republican because they believed Trump, that he was going to do something about pesticides in the food.
MAHA is feeling betrayed and completely dissatisfied with what the administration has done.
The momentum of the MAHA movement has given many of its leading voices unprecedented access to a presidential administration.
In just 15 months, HHS has delivered historic wins.
The American people.
And they're not ready to give up that proximity to power, even as the pesticide issue threatens to overshadow their other gains.
I don't regret any of the boost or, the power that has been had, because there's a lot of amazing things that have been done.
How could they do this stuff at the same time as listening to what's so important to so many women and moms like you?
I don't think they understood what they did. They kicked the hornet's nest. And now I think they're starting to realize it.
As the midterms loom this fall, the pressure to please MAHA voters is on.
A lot of these moms held their nose and voted for Trump in 2024, and they're not sure that they're willing to vote red in the midterms again. It's very important for the GOP to recognize that MAHA voters are not loyal to a certain political party. MAHA voters are a coalition that's up for grabs.
It makes us actually, women with children especially, sit at home instead of going to the ballot.
MAHA is looking for any representatives that are willing to stand up against corporations and put their foot down.
And Democrats are recognizing there's power in embracing MAHA messaging.
This has got to be a movement that grows, does not divide, but multiplies.
Well, I've spent a lot of time telling my Democratic colleagues, I know this issue isn't on the top of your list, but pay attention to it.
Is this an opportunity to kind of get some of those voters back?
Absolutely.
And if anybody is supporting the things that I align with in the health and wellness space, then they'd probably have my vote.
This is do or die. This is sink or swim. This is the Titanic is going down. Hundreds of thousands of free votes that fell out of thin air in 2024 have vanished.
And, despite some of those setbacks that MAHA has experienced over the past few months, today they are celebrating what they see as a huge victory. They were able to get these protections for pesticides that were in the Farm Bill taken out before Congress passed that today. So they're cheering that as evidence that they are a huge force to be reckoned with and, not to be ignored ahead of the midterms.
Yeah, clearly they are. All right.